Hello fans of the modular shed. Would you like to see the modular shed? Well, it's there and it's got the makings of a door. I mean, it's more than just the makings of, it is actually a door. Let's check it out. I've just got a very rudimentary latch at the moment, but yeah, there's the door swinging open and swinging closed. So I thought I'd go for a little asymmetric number on the door. It's 2/3 of the frontage of the shed, so it's 800 wide. I measured the doors on my other two sheds and they were both 800 wide, which is why I chose that width. The remaining third will just be boarded up with feather edge. I've got feather edge on this side. Well, it's half feather edged because I ran out of feather edge, but I've got some new feather edge. Oh, I'm going to go to buying the camera now. So I bought a whole load of feather edge from a local timber yard, and actually I've decided now to get my timber from that timber yard. It's just so much easier than trying to buy it from DIY stores where they're always out of stock. That's what prompted me to go to that timber yard and see if they had any feather edge. B&Q just were out of stock. Attaching that feather edge won't take very long at all. I mean, it's just simply a case of nailing it on and checking it for level with a spirit level. Later on, and particularly on this side, because this is the side where a new module will be built, later on I will build inside a framework similar to the framework that I built for the rear OSB panels. I will build one for these feather edge panels, and I'm now stacking the feather edge a consistent 120 millimeters. They're 150 millimeter or 6-inch feather edge, so I've put markings on here, 120 spacings. That means I get sort of a 30 mil overlap. This stuff that came from B&Q is actually slightly smaller in all dimensions, actually, thickness as well, than the 6-inch stuff I got from the timber yard, so this is just a more robust timber. I'm going to put the feather edge horizontal both on the door and on the little 1/3 side panel. Now on my other sheds the shiplap is turned into the other direction. I think really just as a sort of design idea, just for the sake of making it look pretty, but I thought I'd go for feather edge all horizontal over the whole of this thing. And in fact the feather edge is going to cover most of these hinges. The actual rotational part, the central pin, will still be visible, but these arms will be covered by feather edge. It's going to look quite interesting, I think. Now, having a door that sticks out proud of the roof is a bit of a nonsense, because it's going to drip basically inside the shed, and it does when it rains, and it has been raining a lot recently. So I do need to put the angled front. Now it comes up on that side and it's going to go back down that way, a little way, and I'll put the apex sheets on top. They have to be screwed on. Once the overhang is on this thing, then the front door should be reasonably well protected against water sort of running down it. Now, one of the things I learnt from my bought shed, this one, is that the door, being a frame within a frame, expands, and when it gets really wet these two frames bind together. So I wanted to have my door frame be a really loose fit inside the other frame. So I've got 1/2 inch gap there and 1/2 inch gap here by the hinges. And of course this frame is only 1 inch thick, so these are 1x4s, these frame pieces. So there's absolutely no way that door frame is going to get stuck inside the static frame, and then my feather edge will overlap just to the hinge pin on that side and overlap to halfway across this post. It's sort of an emulation of a corner post, but it's not as thick. It's only 2 inches thick. So the feather edge will half overlap that, and then another set of feather edge will half overlap the corner post and my new 1/3 across front post. And then there are the windows, which are going to be triangular and sit up there. Oh, I could have a square window or rectangular window at the front, I don't know yet. But my plan, as I previously indicated, is to use this fluted polycarbonate. And actually when you cut the flutes you get this sort of overlap section, and I thought that could sit on top of the top piece of feather edge to create a seal, and also for the rain, if it gets to the window. I mean, there is a big roof overhang, but if it does blow into the window, then it would drip down. This would be much higher up, of course. It would drip off the polycarbonate and down the outside of the feather edge. So module 1 is getting close to completion. Then of course I'll have to start on module 2, but that's for another day. Bye!